Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday the 8th of November. So let's get on and look at these markets then, and starting off looking at the potential risk today. There's not a great deal. Let's just look at the news events here, and we've got we've already had New Zealand inflation expectations already out. Let's just refresh this to see what's going on there. So it's slightly less than expected previously, or previous forecasts, so it's showing some signs of slowing down at least. This morning we've got Bank of England Governor Bailey speaking. It's probably, well, that's not what I thought it was, due to speak at the Central Bank of Ireland financial system in Dublin. He only spoke last week. I don't expect too much to have changed since then. And then at 2:15 we've got the Fed chair speaking there at the Vision Research Institute. God, I feel like I'm missing out on those. Not right, so there we are. not a great deal coming out today. Looking at the markets as they stand then, having already looked through these, there's not a great deal, I warn you now, in terms of what's there, but we'll run through them because I get asked regularly what's happening with these majors. So we're going to run through the majors. Euro is tracking its way southbound, downwards. It's slow. It's got potential. Yesterday looked at it, expected it to come down to the weekly pivots. Crikey, it just bounced off the weekly pivots and, well, heading back south that way at the moment. A break of those levels will give us lower highs. The weekly pivot itself, of course, we had these previous highs nearby, which is giving it a bit of a bounce, but we could see this rolling over further. As I said, really the key point for me here would be a break of these lows. But at the moment, on the shorter time frames, when you look at this, it's all a bit gone, as in exhausted looking. But we'll see if it just picks up through the morning. The pound, the same price action effectively on the shorter time frame. Here we reacted yesterday. I'd already pointed out we'd reacted to my key levels there. Again, we ran down, we caught the pivot. The weekly pivot went through it though, looking that little bit softer and closer to taking out and giving us another lower high on this shorter time frame. But again, at the moment it's just sort of softened up. The bars are smaller, tighter packed, but often after consolidation we get a bit more of a movement. Nothing there right yet for me to be trading into. Dollar yen, well, it is continuing its push to the upside here, gradually, slowly, but doing it. It's taken out the highs there, so it's put the higher low in, and seems to be just that little bit softer, which is no great surprise. Of course, it will be diverging up where it is at the moment, and once again, the price action slowing down where it is, momentum coming out for now at least. So, but this could at some stage give us a continuation. There's not a single pattern here that I'm thinking, right, I want to get straight into that, or I'm looking to trade that immediately on any of these markets. Hey, he says as he looks at the Australian dollar. Now this was looking quite nice. It broke its weekly pivot, come back up, retested it, looking quite soft. However, caught a little bit of a bounce at the moment, but I would be, if we do see this turning around, would be liking to, it's probably about the best one for him with a picture of the flag, etc. For me, if it just carries on, well, it carries on. We've seen a bit of that, the carrying on situation. Saw a couple of setups yesterday, just didn't happen. They carried on. US dollar CAD, I was looking at this as a potential continuation, and it just went all yesterday, just solidly, and again slowing down where it is at the moment. This might change through the morning and continue. If it does turn around here, run up towards the R1, there's a good probability the R2 may also get hit today or into tomorrow, that sort of level. Just slowing down as we are at the moment. With the untouched pivot below and the R1 not being hit, there's a reasonable chance of it running back towards that. Now then, it's a case of there's a decent enough support, a reversal into that area would be interested. New Zealand dollar. New Zealand dollar, it was selling quite solidly yesterday. Again, even with that weakish news, it's consolidating where it is at the moment. Again, a bit like the Aussie dollar here. There's the flag opportunity. Let me just pop the. So there's the. It's badly drawn. Bear with me. Never draw charts and trends live, but you see what I'm looking for. There's a breakdown here, so a bit of a reversal if it occurs. There's an opportunity. They're the best opportunities there at the moment. US dollar Swissy, bit spiky price action going on here. It did run into its well, slightly short of its weekly pivot yesterday. Gone back up there. It's all looking like, well, what it was looking like it was going to roll over. I was just looking at late last night, but well, it started to, but a bit more consolidated where it is at the moment. I don't really, it has got a nice bear flag still sitting there, but that horrible little spike in between. Usual suspects like the euro yen. This really is chopping along. You see it when you look at the lower time frames here, so no real action sitting there at this stage. I was looking at euro pound on the lower time frames, looking at the 4 hourlies, and this was yesterday setting up, never triggered to the downside there. It was looking like it was going to continue. It run into its pivot. So there's a lot of things that have just sort of run through, and as I said, I don't have a lot of other. It looks like the Aussie and possibly either or the Aussie or the US, New Zealand US dollar look the best opportunities if they set up. Okay, that's the currencies. The other markets then. Quick look at gold. So gold continued its roll off yesterday. As I said, it could end up snatching back towards its monthly pivot there. It would be a reasonable buy play opportunity. Really messy when you look at the 4 hourly picture here. I just would personally stay out of this at the moment. Crude, now this has been selling off, and it's continued. I mentioned it last week, this week, that the big money's been coming away from it. Stocks built up quite big time yesterday. There was an announcement somewhere that US stocks were increasing, and well, we're seeing this reaction through into the markets here at the moment. So we might see a reaction to that in the petrol pumps in about 10 years then, as it's coming down. But no great setups there at this stage. It's just rolling. It's whether or not you can just, if it consolidates and catches a roll through maybe this afternoon, I'd be interested. S&Ps yesterday, as expected, continued, but they are slowing down here. We're losing the momentum that was sitting there those solid days. Not surprising really, you get such a move like we'd seen. To get some consolidation. It is close to these prior highs as well, so yeah, there we go. And you can see the quarterly pivot sitting over the whole situation there. So we're just stalling things. I believe that's the quarterly. I'm just checking that's the quarterly now because it seems extremely long. He tries to click on the button. Oh, come on. Yeah, it's the quarterly. Yes, okay, just checking. Okay, so it's still sitting around that quarterly pivot. Of a break and close above might give us an opportunity, but yeah, as I say, that is certainly slowed down things at the moment. The Dow, etc., all very similar in terms of price action. Coming closer to home with DAX, well, this was looking like it, and it could still do it. It's ran into its pivot here. It could now. It's got a bit of a flag going on there. Could break through from that, but well, lower highs, lower lows on this intermediate time frame. Still looking soft, but for me to be comfortably short on this, it needs to start really getting a wiggle away from that trend line. Okay, and finally he says the FTSE here is still soft at the moment, and okay, so it's back towards its quarterly pivot here. Sorry, weekly pivot, beg your pardon. Back to its weekly pivot at the moment, but looking more on the softer side there. Okay, there's nothing much more for me here. I wish you a great day's trading, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye for now.